So this week's question comes from Matthew, and Matthew asks, how do professors stay so comfortable speaking in front of a large classroom? Well, here's the big thing. The first time they go up there, they're not comfortable. The second time they go up there, they're probably not comfortable. The third time, they're getting a little bit better. It's the repetition of speaking in front of a group that makes it easier. Just like anything you do, the more you do it, the better you get at it. It's the same thing for your professor. So if your professor's been teaching a class year after year after year, they're prepared. They know what jokes work. They know what jokes don't work. And so they get more comfortable when they're up there. That's why if you have to do a presentation, it's always important that you practice it beforehand so you know how it's going to go. So you don't get hooked up or tripped up on things. You know what's going to happen because you're really getting used to doing it, okay? So that repetition, that's one reason why they do well up there. Another reason why they do well when they're up there and they don't get too frustrated or flustered is they get paid for it. I mean, think about it. I get paid to teach you, so I'm going to teach you, and so that monetary incentive to do my job gets people up there. It helps people get over the fear of speaking in front of a group when you know your paycheck depends on it. Another reason why professors tend to feel more comfortable speaking in front of a group is usually when you're a professor, you're teaching a topic that you're an expert in, something you know really, really well. So you're getting up there with confidence. You're not worried. Again, that's why the more you prepare for something, the more comfortable you feel giving a presentation. Well, if you're an expert in that field, you already know everything, so you're walking up there going, I already know all the kind of questions they could possibly ask. So that gives you the confidence when you're up there. And then sometimes professors just enjoy being in front of those large classes and speaking to a group. I know for myself, I love being in front of my large classes so I can teach them and interact with them. See, look at that smile on my face. Just thinking about teaching in front of a big group of students makes me excited. So Matthew, I hope this helps you understand how professors can kind of feel so comfortable, or seem so comfortable when they're up there. I'll be honest, the first few times they might not be, but over time they get better. I mean, I know for myself, the first time I had a big lecture hall was in Portugal, and I was a PhD student at the time. I was really skinny, I was good looking. I mean, I know I'm still good looking now, of course, but back then, think of me like 100 pounds less, 50 kilos less. I mean, it was a different experience having me in my 20s, right? And so I walked into class and I looked like a college student coming in. I had my backpack over my shoulder, nice tight jeans, nice shirt. And I remember looking around, I'm like, oh man, I got to teach this class, big lecture hall. And this girl, like in the front row, looks at me and I could see she was checking me out. And she's like, hey, I'm like, hey. And then I turned to walk to the front of the classroom and she realized that I was going to be the one teaching the class. And she was so embarrassed. I was like, oh. Well, I don't have to feel embarrassed now because I know she's 10 times more embarrassed than I will ever feel. So then that's why the first day of my big first class wasn't so bad because I knew there was Mariana sitting over on the right-hand side that was more embarrassed than anyone else. So, Matt, I hope that answers your question. If you have other questions for professors, please put in the comment section below so we can answer your questions about college life, professor life, and so much more. Bye from here in York, England.